bricks, lessons on the stove.
Now, let's get back to dad talk. Now, as people already know from the Misfit Nation and from Wonderland, you are a father of some odd kids. I don't know the number of it, but you have kids.
2 boys.
As of I. Exactly. So, how was it for you? Let's go this chronologically. How did you feel in the first year of having a kid? Like, if you remember.
Okay, my first year of having a kid, I didn't really get into full detail about incarceration. The reasons of being incarcerated. Throughout my teen life, I was gang affiliated. So a lot of my time was spent on the streets being a blood. So I was out there. I've never been home. I really barely was home. I'm always on the streets, fighting, getting into people's homes, doing things I wasn't supposed to do. So of the time of the announcement of my first, I was still in a mindset of being on the streets. But it didn't take, honestly, until after he was born for me to realize that I really shouldn't be doing what I'm doing, considering of how I was raised. I had parents. It's not like I was someone that didn't have a father in their life. My father was here, but he wasn't there at the same time. If something crazy would happen to me, he would have been right there to whoop my ass, just like any other father should or would or have to be. So that being said, I was still steered with a man in my life. So that's why when I did get into any kind of trouble, I always was chasing me. I never ran. I just stood there.
Yeah.
Krishan will tell you all the time since middle school, it didn't matter what it was. Just own up to it. You did it. Like it's really nothing more to it more than I did it. I knocked over the vending machine. I did that. So what? I did it. Like it's why? I don't know, but I did it. You know what I'm saying? So those are so when I started to really think, I was holding him and just staring at him and staring in his face and say, it's really unfair to you for me not to give you the same energy my parents gave me. And that right there, that little talk with him, infant child, don't know anything in this world, convinced me that I had to change my ways.
Okay.
So from there on, it was like cold turkey, bro. Like I woke up the next day, everybody's hitting my phone to meet me here, meet me there, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
I got my kid at home. I got to change diapers. I got to get formula. I got to feed him. So little by little, I steadily dropped the bad crowd, and became this person today.
Yeah, I get that. Now we're gonna go a little bit more from that, but to give you a history lesson of mine, my son was born in a hospital next to my town. I wasn't there at the moment because I was trying to find my baby mama's father. I wasn't there. And I'll say this because, whatever. She is just 2 pumps for her. Push, boom, baby's out. And as you saw where I live, she lived all the way on the top of the hill. So she would walk all the way up every single day up that damn hill. So she's ready to birth. For the first year, just to be chronological here, I didn't have any feeling for my son because I was still a dumbass 29-year-old kid. I didn't want to have responsibility. I was going to San Juan every night getting drunk on cane rum and just stupid shit. I didn't really feel any affection for my son. My son knows this too because I've always been honest with him. I didn't really feel affection for him until I was around 5. Like around 5, 6 years old. And it was a very specific reason and a time that it happened too. It made me cry too when it happens. We were in Subway and we were sitting down and he had a sandwich and I had a sandwich and I was just talking to my baby mama. We were having a fight just because. And he looks at me and he's like, Dad, I soiled myself. Like, I don't feel good. I'm like, oh shit. Like, all right, I'll go to the bathroom with you and take care of you and stuff. And he's in the bathroom. He's crying and crying and crying. And I see him. And at that moment, I just started crying in Subway, hard. My baby mama gets to the door, yo, what's going on? What's wrong with Magnus? What's wrong with you? He's my son. I love him. I just cried like a freaking bitch. And from that point on, I walked him every day to school. I fed him every single day. I made sure he had it was instinctual. And no matter what, my son hates that now. that I go to his house every single day in the morning. Yo, you awake? Yeah. You alive? Yeah. I love you. Bye. That's it. Every morning. You going to school? Yeah. Okay. Bye. It's just it hits differently. So the next question I have for you: if one of your kids or all of your kids are in your teens, how is it now maintaining your sanity being with a teenage kid?
Yeah, my oldest is 13, and I must say, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, I'm going to give you the misfit answer. I love my son. There's nothing I would not do for my son, but my God, he's the most emotional bitch I have ever dealt with in my life. And it's not like he's crying. He's not a crybaby. He doesn't shed a tear. It's just the way hoodie's always over his head. He has the AirPods in. He's always moping. He always has this look like someone's hurting him and everything. Yo, what's the matter? Nothing. He has a bunch of friends at school. He doesn't get bullied. Nothing to that nature, but he's just an emotional, like an emo child, bro. And I'm just chucking it up to being 13 and feeling like you're becoming a man and want to do everything on your own, but there's still lessons to be learned here, son. So he's still going to get bothered by me on a daily basis until he's ready. I know I'll check his phone. I see he has little girlfriends. He gets little twerk videos. He's doing all the little things that teenagers do. Oh, my allowance is going to the girlfriend I have for the week. I'm going to entertain her with my little allowance money. Everything to that nature. It's just little stupid things that it's definitely a change from, hey, daddy, can we watch freaking Nickelodeon or anime together? He doesn't do that anymore. Any bonding he wants is, hey, can you get on the PS5? You want to play Call of Duty? Like, that's literally
my son does the same exact thing. I'm like, dude, like, I don't play Fortnite. I don't play Call of Duty, like whatever the thing is right now, because I've heard his ass scream and say profanities that sailors would fucking blush. And he's like 14 now. I'm like, motherfucker, what? Like, you ain't been in this shit to talk like that. What? Yo,
you don't even know what you're saying half of the time. I feel like if you even know the contents of what you're saying, you're a little too old for your age. That's how I see it.
And that's crazy to think about that way, because now the next question I ask you, no, two questions. Did you teach your children the basics of a house? And I'll explain what that means. My mom as a kid, I didn't grow up with a father until she remarried, and I had a second father. The basics of the house that my mom taught me before she got remarried was that the child knows how to sweep, mop, wash dishes, do his own laundry or her own laundry, and organize before they even hit puberty. So I was going to ask you if you taught your children the basics of the house.
Of course. I'm a Caribbean person. I grew up with Caribbean parents. I was born in Jamaica. I'm given the same kind of house rules and structure that I did growing up. So before puberty hit, even my 5-year-old now, my 5-year-old picks up after himself. He puts his dish in the sink. If he knows he's the only dish in the sink, to at least attempt to wash it. I'm not expecting spick and span from a 5-year-old, but at least he knows what to do. So when he is older, it could get done correctly. So yeah, I am definitely someone that gave house rules to my kids.
Okay, I just wanted to know that, because again, I try to teach house rules to my kids, but me and my baby mama are separate, so he lives in 2 separate houses. So you can see how the mood changed between him living with his mother and him visiting me. And mind you, we live only in terms of feet, 200 feet away from each other. That's it. 4 flights of stairs, 20-second walk. What's up? That's it. And he's like, I don't want to go upstairs. I don't want to go up 4 flights of stairs. Don't be a lazy ass. I go up 4 flights of stairs every damn day. I'm 41. I'll be a little bitch about it. But I get that. So the next question I ask you, what would you tell your children to prepare for the future of now? Knowing that what we know, what would you tell your kids if this was the last day you ever saw them?
The sky is the limit. Don't let anybody that's not at the level that you want to be or the success where you want to be at what you do with your life. That's the biggest problem with the world today. Everybody that's not experienced in something or just not comfortable enough to get out of their comfort zone and do something different, instead of experimenting and trying it, they'll just be negative and say, you can't do it, you can't do this, you can't do that. No. Can is not really a word. Can't is something that you tell yourself to do or you can't do. So sky's the limit.
That's true. I would tell my kid, if it was the last day I met him or the last day I ever saw him, basically what you said, but a little bit more differently. Live every day to the fullest. Hug the people that you love. Find the sun every morning and look at it, because that's a gift that you get every day for free. And wear a condom. You don't know how hoes are dirty these days. You just don't know, bro. Just wear a condom. Or at the most, tell the girl in a loving way, go to the STD clinic, get yourself checked out. In a loving way. I don't know how you can do that, but I'm just saying like that. That's
I don't think that'll ever be received right. But yeah, I get what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So,
That's like because the girl's like, oh, you've been like, oh, I'll check myself out because I've been accused. You ain't got something. Like, I'll be right back. Go to Walgreens. Whoop, got the blood test. I'm clean. What now? What, bitch? Yeah, right? Okay, but for all the kids out there, listen to your fathers if they're doing the right things. Listen to your mothers if they're nurturing you and loving you. If they're giving you good advice, remember to write it down, because then it'll come out 20 years later at a random time when you're at McDonald's. You're like, and then you start to cry because your father gave you some good advice that you didn't listen until later in life. Remember that. Now, we're in the final part of the show, which I want to make this really special. It's called 20 Questions. Now, I'm going to give Mr. Wonder 20 questions, random, and he's going to give me his answer off the top. This will not be derogatory. This will not be grimy. This will not be stupid. This will be thought-provoking questions and hopefully thought-provoking answers. So, question number 1. Do you fear death?
no.
Okay. Question number 2.